All right, thanks, Vaughn. Appreciate it. And we got Darren on the east side of that, so we're going to be watching what's going on right there with that particular cell. So that's wrapped up. That's northeast of Tulsa. That's right around the Foyle area, east of Oologah, and that's going to continue to track to the east. So that's what we're going to keep an eye on. Bob's on the east side of that in case this gets carried away. A lot of lightning strikes are now starting to pop up around some of these areas, so just be advised for that. And also, Stacia's been looking at storm track and is taking a look at that. Stacia, quick update on that.
Travis, with this track, as Vaughn and also Darren have mentioned, this storm is tracking now a little more southeast than due east. So at about 45 miles per hour, we're going to put this in the community of Greene at 535, around Lake Hudson at 549, and Kenwood at about 552. So this is going to be crossing over the Will Rogers Turnpike right now. In fact, it is right near the Adair exit with very heavy rainfall. But the area that Vaughn and Darren are watching closely, where we could potentially have a wall cloud at some point, that is going to be back near the Foyle area. They've already had reports of some pretty large hail come through Foyle, so we're going to continue to follow this thunderstorm. And again, making that more southeast turn instead of due east would actually bring it across the northern half of Lake Hudson, maybe even clip parts of Spavinaw, and could continue into Delaware County. So that's going to be the latest track for that thunderstorm. There are additional storms kind of forming back to its southwest. We have one thunderstorm near Collinsville. That's a heavy storm at this point. It is not severe, but you do have some heavy rain and some small hail. And then, Trav, of course, we have these severe thunderstorms in the metro right now with hail and some gusty winds.
Okay, and I appreciate that very much, Stacia. And so what we're going to do is we're going to continue our coverage here as severe thunderstorms coming in across the Tulsa area at this moment. And so you can see the south sides of Tulsa getting hammered. We also have a pretty intense cell that's kind of blowing up just on the north side of Owasso. So there's multiple locations where severe thunderstorms. Right now, this is in the heart of Tulsa, and then up to the northeast we were just talking about where Stacia had a storm track on it, and then back to the south as well. And you see our storm trackers on the left side of the screen, but let's go full screen if we could, guys. Thanks. And what I want to do is come in a little bit closer into Tulsa right now. And so the heaviest of the rains right now from Broken Arrow, really near the downtown area of Broken Arrow, the Rose District, and then extending back up to the west. A little bit of a hail core is possible right in this zone, and then also heavy rains right now around the Hickey Creek area. And so that will continue to travel to the pretty much to the east along 121st, so at 131st. And so if you're in those areas, just kind of be advised as it continues to turn into Tucson Street. But we're looking at a few isolated areas that could have hail. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning for golf ball size hail. Winds up to 60 miles per hour. No tornadoes, no tornado warnings. But we do have a tornado watch, which means we have to be watching for the potential for a tornado. So that's what we're trying to keep an eye on, just make sure nothing gets carried away here. Heavy rain, thunderstorm right now in the Glenpool area extending to the south. JD's in some of the middle of this right now. JD, I want to get an update from you since you're kind of in some of this area of heavy rain, thunderstorm activity. Any hail, wind, anything going on for you?
No, actually, Travis, I'm on 75 just to the east of Mounds there. I haven't received any hail, but the lightning is on the uptick. It's really starting to increase right here, just right along Highway 75. So, but no winds to speak of at all, just some heavy rain and some lightning right now, Travis. Back to you.
All right, thanks. I appreciate it, JD. So again, coming across the metro area and the southwest sides of town, here's Mounds, so he's not too far from Mounds, so not too bad in here. Back to the south a little bit further, you can see the heavy rain thunderstorms continue. We have severe thunderstorm warnings that are continuing into Okmulgee County. And so with western and northwestern Okmulgee County getting hit, I think this Highway 16, I was talking, yeah, and there's, and so that extends back to the west. So we're talking about, again, heavy rain, thunderstorms. I shouldn't say 16, that's 56. And so we're talking about that continuing to move to the southeast. So as these dive southeast, heavy rain, going to try to move a car into a garage. But if you want to do that now, it's probably a good idea if you're southeast of this line. We do have multiple lightning strikes. The hail doesn't look that impressive along the line at this moment, but these are strong, severe. As we said, around JD, getting quite a few lightning strikes and around the Broken Arrow area. Back to the northeast as well, and we do have some heavy rain, thunderstorms. And there's one cell I want to point out here just along, just south of Highway 20 and just on the north side of Owasso. And you see Sky News 6 is right now looking at this particular cell. And I'm going to try to get an update right now from Dustin from Osage Sky News 6 right now. Dustin, can you give me an update on what that looks like there?
That's right, Travis. We are looking to the east. We are over Skytook looking east towards the north side of Owasso. And there's a lot of rain just between Owasso and Highway 20 that's moving east. I haven't seen any lightning here from the backside. And back here on the back, the winds are fairly calm, but we're just kind of trailing along eastbound behind it, Travis.
All right. Hey, I appreciate it very much. And so that's... we're going to stay on that because that's, again, very heavy rainfall right now around the Limestone area. Not sure. Okay, so this is and so you can see where Dustin is located right now, and then that is going to continue to move to the east. So there could be a hail core right now around the Limestone area, just on the east side of Owasso, northeast side, and then that'll extend on into the severe storm where Vaughn is located. So he's kind of in a conglomeration of cells at this moment. But Vaughn, what do you have for us? Can you give me an update on what you're seeing right there?
Yes, Travis. This is that area of rotation that's been pretty consistent as it's moved to the east here. I don't know what it's doing right now. We've got a little lowering right there in the shot. Definitely no funnel or anything like that. But I think as area of rotation continues to rotate, it's sucking in some rain right now. But we're going to keep following. Back to you, Travis.
All right, thanks, appreciate it. So along this line, we continue with heavy to severe thunderstorms, and that's what we're going to have to be watching as we'll continue. This is all north and east sides of Tulsa. Heavy rain, hail embedded in some of this right now. So if you go from Bushy Head and then extending back across some agricultural lands, that goes all the way on over to Adair, you're going to get just trounced on with heavy rain and also probably rain embedded with hail. Let's take a look at hail cores, if you would, Stacia, on this one. We'll take it and see if we, just near the Foyle area right now. So that's not too far from where Vaughn is located. So just on the north side. So this just indicates how strong this thunderstorm is and the potential for hail and getting large hail now. And again, this is the year of hail. Last year, I don't even remember saying that. All we did was talk about rain and tornadoes. This year, it seems like what we're talking about is hail the whole time. So if you are in this zone, and Stacia's going to make a storm track in just a moment for this particular cell. But again, from where Darren is located, in fact, if Darren, is he? He's there. Okay, Darren, if you're there right now, a hail core just should have passed just to your north or northeast. What does that look like to you?
Yeah, Travis, just got hit with a piece of stray hail. I'm going to say it was at least quarter-size hail. Now, the winds are out of the north feeding into that circulation, which is off to the right side of the camera now. Winds are 40 to 45 miles an hour feeding into this thing, Travis.
All right, I appreciate it. So again, golf ball size hail, could be larger with some of that. Thanks, Darren. Appreciate that. So that's going to be also additional into severe thunderstorm warnings that we continue with. Stacia has an update on kind of from the hail core, kind of the worst of the weather. What do you have, Stacia?
All right, Travis, from that hail core specifically that is near Foyle, we're going to track this thunderstorm to the east-southeast at about 35 to 40. So take a look at the latest track here. This is going to put very large hail potential. Right now it's on the southwest side of Bushy Head, but that is going to be moving into the Bushy Head area here in about a minute or so. And then also
you get lightning, a lot of that, and then some hail falling out of that. And Bob's getting close to that right in there. And again, we'll have to get Bob positioned. Probably he's going to have to be watching on that. And then Vaughn, you can see where he's located. New severe thunderstorm warning right on this south side of this first one. So this just happened while Stacia was talking. So this is a new severe thunderstorm warning. This will be northeastern portions right now of Rogers County, and then that'll extend into western, northwestern portions of Mays County. So if you're located in this area, that's part of that core that's going to be diving a little bit more southeast. We have this cell. We're still going to keep an eye on this. Stephen Nairns, meteorologist, is going to continue to watch what's going on with that, and we're going to keep pretty much Dustin close just to see what happens on the north side of Owasso. Back into the Tulsa area right now, we have another core that's continuing on the north side of Broken Arrow that's picked up steam a little bit. Now it's moving out of the Jinx area and from around the Bixby area, but this is now on the east side of town. So if you're in Tulsa, in the midtown or west side of Tulsa, you're cleared. So this, you don't have anything really to worry about once this thing gets through here. But remember, lightning strikes. Stacia did a story on our special. The most likely time to be struck by lightning is not during a thunderstorm. It's either before or after, because you're kind of like walking back out, not thinking it's a big deal, and then errant lightning strike comes and hits about 5-10 miles back behind the thunderstorm. And so just be aware of that. And so that's the only problem you're going to have, because I say it's clearing, but still be aware of lightning. So this cell right in here, as you can see, it's running about anywhere from about 21st to 41st Street, and so that's some of the heaviest of the thunderstorm. A bit of a hail core could be associated with that. Again, that's just on the north side of on the Broken Arrow area, and so we're picking up a little bit of indication of that right here. So just from anywhere from Sheridan Memorial back off to the east and around 21st to 41st, and that'll continue to track off to the east as well. So that's one cell. Then back down to the south, on the south side of Tulsa right now, heavy rains showing up around the Bixby area, and I don't see any real super high indications of hail. Could be a little bit mixed in there. Can we do a quick check on that for a possible hail core? And so nothing really showing up at that point. So heavy rains right in this zone with the thunderstorms. Is Brandon in there, Sawyer? Do you know? Is he? Hey, Brandon, you have to give me your location again. Where are you, and what do you have for us?
Okay, yeah, Travis, we're going to be on the Creek Turnpike here at 129th. Right now, just some light rainfall. Temperature is sitting about 75, so that boundary's gotten really close, Travis. We're going to make our way up here near the New Tulsa area and see if we can get a vantage point on what that storm's doing. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Brandon. I appreciate that a lot. So that's something that we're going to be watching. And really, right now, knock on wood, it doesn't look too bad for us. So there is some welcome news as far as that's concerned. But again, if you're in these areas, just be advised, heavy thunderstorms continue around the South Tulsa area. We still have that warning going on, still some rain around the Bixby area and extending back on further to the south. Speaking of which, quite a bit of lightning going on here on the south sides of the Tulsa and southern Tulsa County. We highlight that just so you can kind of see what's going on where some of the more intense strikes are. And usually where you have a lot of lightning strikes, that's where there's obviously a lot more energy, a lot more upward momentum with the thunderstorms. That's creating more friction in the atmosphere and positive and negative charges. So we're getting a lot of that. And that gives us pretty good ideas to what's going on with some of these cells. Further to the south, and this is going to be now anywhere from Dentonville. You can see Beggs right in here. And this is probably the heaviest rain. And there could be a hail core right now near the Beggs area. And that extends on over to Preston. And so this is continuing to track off to the east. And heavy rain, thunderstorm activity right in this zone. JD is on the east side of that. JD, can you give us an update on what you have?
Yeah, Travis, I'm on 75. I'm starting to get close to Okmulgee there. I'm getting some, heavy rain, but no winds to speak of. The lightning is still picking up along 75, along that leading edge, but no hail to speak of or strong winds at this point, Travis. We'll get back with you.
All right. Hey, appreciate it. So once again, we're getting some good news kind of out of some of that, but just want you to make sure you're prepared. Hail is off to the west of him at this moment, and we do want you just to be advised for the potential there. Can we go full screen with that? Stacia, do you have an update?
I do, Travis. So tracking that hail core from near the Beggs area to the southeast now, this is going to be at about 40 miles per hour. So take a look at the latest track. This is going to be near Beggs in about, I'd say 2-3 minutes, especially on the west side of Beggs moving in. And then the Layton area at about 5:43, Preston at 5:48, Okmulgee, that's going to be closer to 5:54. So you have almost 20 minutes in Okmulgee. And again, I would bring the vehicles inside just in case this hail does end up growing. Now, this is a severe thunderstorm, so it has at least 1-inch hail potential. Morris at 6:02, Grayson at about 6:08. So this will be tracking through parts of central Okmulgee County. Trav?
Thanks. Just looking at some of those updates. And again, so we want you to just be aware of that. Okay, bigger picture here for a moment in case you're wondering. Tulsa area is starting to clear out just a little bit if you're west and northwest. We still have the heaviest rain thunderstorms. Claremore, just east, northeast side of Owasso, down to around Catoosa to Broken Arrow. That extends now east of Sapulpa. So if you're in midtown Tulsa to the west, northwest, you have nothing to worry about, which is great to hear. If you're south and east,
Good evening. Dan and I watching, Chris and I watching these thunderstorms. I'm Dan Threlkel, the chief meteorologist. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's going on. We've got severe weather going on. Fred Williams is watching these storms. He's in Broken Arrow. The storms are moving from the west to the east. These storms have been severe. They're still capable of producing 1-inch hail as they make their way through our area. I want you to be very aware of the storms in far northeastern Oklahoma near Miami. That's a severe thunderstorm warning for Ottawa County. Further to the south, severe thunderstorm warning in effect for areas north of Pryor. That's northern Mays County. You go further to the southwest in through Rogers County, severe thunderstorm warning there along the turnpike. And then the storm now that's east of 75 is east of Glenpool. It's in through Bixby. It's moving towards Coweta, movement east at about 50 to 55 miles per hour. So right now, in extreme southern parts of Tulsa County, we're still under a severe thunderstorm warning, and those storms are still sliding generally in the easterly direction. Very strong thunderstorms now just to the north of Okmulgee in northern Okmulgee County, and they extend north all the way up in through Beggs. It'll be passing over 75, but large hail, high winds, and very heavy rainfall can be expected. And the line goes further to the southwest, all the way south of I-40, east of the Oklahoma City area. So the whole line right now is severe and is not tornadic. At any time, there is that risk. The hope is that does not happen, but the good news so far, we have severe thunderstorm warnings and not tornado warnings. Coming up in our newscast at 6 o'clock, we'll talk a little bit
vicinity. We look at velocities, and we're going to see velocities here in just a second when we go back to our radar on weather 1. And this is reflectivity. So Mike, you're always at the right place at the right time. He just has that sense. So what we're going to look for is some rotation within this cell. We look at velocities. We do it.
Wall are visible.
You have a wall cloud?
It's in the rain. You can see it on the screen.
Yep.
I don't know how pixelated my stream is right now.
Nope,
But
you're good. You're
I'm seeing
good.
it on the screen.
Okay, so let me orientate our viewers real quick. Just stay there, Mike. Don't move for me. All right, so this is velocities, and what I look for is areas of rotation. The green and the reds are indicating winds going to and away from the radar, and we can see that this area of rotation exists right here, okay? So on the camera, just to my on my side here, there's that lowering, and that's what we're looking at here. This is the area of rotation detector locking in on as well. So Mike, not only is Viper locking in on it, we're starting to see that. We look at reflectivity, and there's definitely inflow into this storm. This is where it would be rotating as the storm continues to track southeast. So you saw that wall cloud. It's, of course, a little bit of a distance, a lot of rain in that area. Can we take Mike's shot full? And I'm going to point that out, that lowering. Yep, there you go. As he points over a little more to the right. Okay, so this is the wall cloud right here. And this is the area to watch for any tornadic potential. How impressive does that look from your vantage point?
Looking at it through the core, but I will say the ship is not that impressive. It doesn't look as good as it does on the radar to me, just on the loop, the updraft, how it's kind of sucking in itself to the south, and just the ship. It looks better on radar than it does in person, but I'm also looking through a pretty heavy critical. Whoa. Lightning just 100 yards away. Just hit this house right here.
Okay.
That's terrifying. All right. So, the wall cloud looks like it's kind of dissipating. Man, I would love to drop south on one of these roads. I just know it's going to lose sail. So I'm going to sit here and watch this thing head my direction, Mike. It also looks like the cell is slowing down as it merges. So
I agree with that, Mike.
What's going to happen?
Yeah, I agree with that. This cell is one of the few.
So Easton Box and Rosedale 625, that's where that storm is heading right now. Let's go back and look at Chopper 4 again with a live view from the chopper. And Mason Dunn, again, reorganizing, and he's moving the chopper around because he's having to fight some inflow right here, but he's had a beat on that wall cloud here for quite some time now. And Mason is to the east of Lexington on that severe storm right now. Mason? Okay, let's go back over to Jeremy Carter's live stream and take a look at Jeremy. So that's the expected time of arrival of it. So it's got 2.75 to 3-inch diameter hail. No tornado warning with it. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning, but it is vigorous rotation. Let's go back over to Jeremy Carter. He's got a view of it right there, looking right at that mesocyclone. You can tell it's an angry storm. Look how low that mesocyclone is, rotating around the big hail there on the left-hand side of your picture. And the chopper shot rejoins us there as well with an excellent view of it. So both from the ground and in the sky. Let's go ahead and go over to Jeremy Carter. Jeremy?
Yeah, Mike. So one of the things that don't look visually like it was to me a few minutes ago, but man, it don't take nothing for one of these things to intensify and to produce a tornado. So we're going to watch this, Mike, ever so close. And I've got a good vantage of it here. You can see the area of scud just pulling straight up into the storm. And I'm actually starting to right now get some rain on my location where I'm at. So I may have to relocate here shortly as this wall cloud gets closer and closer to me. But I really want to keep my eyes on it, Mike. Back to you.
Okay, let's go back over to join Mason here again. He has an excellent view of it from the sky. And man, it's a significant mesocyclone. Big lowering here. This is looking east out of Lexington. Mason Dunn, go.
Yeah, Mike, this is a large storm, as you can imagine. This is the far west side of the storm where we have a little rotation back here, as you can see, if we can pan to the right a little bit. And we've got some upward motion. See those go to the right just a little bit, Steve? See those clouds just to the right of that lowering? Those are lifting up into the wall cloud there, Mike. So we're going to keep an eye on this little lowering here, but there's another one. If we'll pan out and go to the right, Steve, there's another wall cloud in the heavy rain to the right that has just gone through Lexington. That's what you're looking at right there, Mike. So Chopper 4 is right up here with it. Back to you.
Okay, let's go back over to Max 1, just kind of back out of this a little bit, give you an overview. This is what's going on. Made 100 in Chickasha today. Cold front came through this afternoon. It was very unstable, very warm, very muggy, mid-90s, metro-wide, 100 in Chickasha. Cold front came in, provided the lift, the trigger, and we now have scattered storms and a couple of supercells out there. The storms to watch are the ones here north of Rosedale and north of Byers. Cyclone with it, damaging wind threat elevated with that, and a very large hail threat, even giant-sized hail threat as well. The motion is to the southeast at 21 miles per hour. It's moving fairly slow, but man, it's got a lot of rotation with it, along with damaging winds and that 2.75 to 3-inch diameter hail. Look at it spin there, just spinning around, spin north of Rosedale, north of Byers, and to the northwest of Winnett. Okay, so you folks in Winnett, prepare for large hail damaging winds down to Rosedale, large hail damaging winds. Protect your property here, as this thing definitely means business as it comes out of Cleveland County into the panhandle of McLean County with that well-established mesocyclone in progress. So let's go back over to the chopper and take a look at the view from Mason Dunn. Mason?
Yeah, Mike, back with you. We're moving back to the east now. We're still looking to the west at that storm, but if you pan out and go right a little bit, Steve, we're going to go up here and check out this. We've got a large inflow notch right up here that we're going to go check out. There's a lot of rain. You can't really see the wall clouds. You can barely see it back in there. So that's the area that we're really going to watch right now, Mike. It looks like it's getting wrapped up pretty good, so Chopper 4 is right up here with it. We'll keep you updated. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Mason. Let's go back over to radar, show you the motion here. Look at the collars there. See the collars on the chopper shot? Really amazing. That's the spin you see here on radar. You can visually see it. Lots of spinning collars there with that supercell storm. Let's go ahead and go over to Jeremy Carter and talk to him. Corey Inman will be up next after Jeremy Carter, but let's go to Jeremy Carter here, north of Byers, northwest of Winnett, and Corey Inman as well there. Corey's going to be north of Seminole right now, very close to Interstate 40. Let's check in with Corey right now. Corey?
Yeah, Mike, we're here in Cromwell on Highway 56, getting ready to turn back and give you a shot to the west. This wall cloud continues to cycle here. It's off to the east of Seminole, between Seminole and Cromwell right now, going to be south of Highway 99. If we can get on top of the hill here, we'll give you a shot of it. But storm continues to move off to the southeast, coming into Cromwell area and off to the south towards Wewoka, Mike.
Okay, so still a hook there. So Cromwell, pretty much moving right toward Cromwell there, Corey. Where are you from Cromwell right now?
We are coming through Cromwell right now, Mike, just on the south end of town. Like I said, trying to navigate the trees here and get a spot where we can turn around and get you a shot of it. But the area of rotation is back just to the west of Cromwell, south of 99.
Okay, see folks in Cromwell, large hail damaging winds, protect your property. Protect your property there in the Cromwell area. That's going to be golf ball to tennis ball size hail. So it's
took it over and it went into the rain, so it's completely rain wrapped right now. Whatever rotation might have been there, whatever's left, but you can see it's a stack of plates just right above us. It's a very impressive structure in the storm. We're going to keep going east and then go south with it. Back to you.
Great shot, Tom. And once again, Tom, what highway is he on right now? I know he's I'm sorry, yeah, he's on 40.
He's on I-40.
The label's underneath him. Okay, he's on top of my marker. Okay, he's on I-40. He's looking back to his west, right? He's looking off to his west now. And there it is. Let's go back to Links 3 and take a look at it here. And Tom's here. He's looking right back in here. That's that mesocyclone. See how there's a hole in here? Let's turn shear rate on, see what it looks like on shear rate. Boom. It all matches up.
It's right over the river.
Right over the river, just north of I-40. He's looking right at it. Okay, so look at that. Look at the S shape on shear rate. Anytime we see that, we got to pay attention. And Alan Brosey is going to get back in position here. There it is. There it is. Shear, okay, there it is. That's getting stronger. Hang on a second here. Okay, yeah. That is.
Yeah, that's on our live velocity.
That looks pretty impressive. Hey, Justin, that looks impressive. That's probably the most impressive that storm's looked all day.
Yeah, definitely looking like stronger rotation on that storm, but then also the storm to the south has a little bit more of a stronger feature that Hank's been watching as well. So,
Yep.
but the one there on 40, it's more diving to the south-southeast now.
Yes. Yeah, it's lunging. I mean, it's
As
going
soon
into
as
the
it strengthened, it lunged south-southeast.
It did. It's going into 6,000 Cape. Okay, keep me. I know you will. Again, on Alan and Tom. When Alan gets back in position, I'll go to Alan next. Okay, let's go to Hank, and let's jump in here on the southern storm. And Hank, I saw some motion going on. I still see some motion. Tell me exactly where you are. Again, I see your shot here. Great shot. You're looking off to your northwest there. There's a mesocyclone. Are your winds northerly or are they southerly right there? You have a south wind or a north wind?
They're moving around to the west, so we're kind of right in that wrap. It was to our southeast, and now they're kind of turning around, and we're getting some westerly because I'm right on the gust front. So I'm right about Fox, or just east of Corbett at 180th and Highway 39. You can see where that gust front, back out just a little bit, where that gust front wraps in, well, you can see that it's really starting to spin there. So the rotation has increased quite a bit. Now, yeah, where we're at, we've still got winds feeding into this. We're directly south of it, and there are winds still feeding into it, wrapping around it. So this rotation is really, really increasing. We're going to really have to keep a close eye.
The storm on the left or the storm on the southern flank will end up dominating because it's going to throw all its hail into the northern storm and kind of suffocate it per se. And what we'll end up doing is watching the southern storm be the dominant storm with all the inflow, all the clean air flowing into it. And so we're just going to have to watch that real closely, even though, Slaughterville, Etowah, you're not in a tornado watch, you can still have tornado warnings in a thunderstorm watch, and that's what we're just going to have to really watch for. So, a couple concerns for, obviously the hail is the biggest impact. A lot of the times these storms are really tall. When they collapse, they put out strong, damaging winds, and again, that tornado threat. The one area of rotation that I see is going to be, just south of Highway 9. I'm highlighted in the yellow. There's another area of rotation just north of Nick, but unfortunately, it's wrapped up in rain, and nobody's going to see that. So we'll really have to rely on our radar technology there to kind of highlight where that area of rotation would be. But those are the concerns as of right now, Damon. Again, south winds ahead of these storms, they have a chance to go tornadic. Okay, yeah, and so that's something we're really going to have to watch. And it's all about, the winds that the storm, the environment that these storms are going into. Right now I'm looking at, some of the surface winds out ahead of this. They're out of the south. If they're southwest, it'd be like, okay, not conducive for low-level rotation, but south winds with this explosive instability, it's a concern as the storm kind of morphs and changes and moves into an environment which is conducive for low-level rotation.
Yeah, and really, as we know this time of the year, the tornado risk is usually there. It just varies day to day on whether it's high or it's low. Something still to watch, but we can really see clearly the large hail in this brand new warning. If your phones just went off, if your KOCO5 mobile app just went off, it just went off alerting you of this severe thunderstorm from Etowah down to Tribby, Truesdale, Macomb towards Romulus. This is now golf ball size hail, and the hail is going to continue to get even larger. So even if you're not inside of this polygon, as we look downstream, looking at towards Holdenville, Maud, southern Pottawatomie County, southern Seminole County, you're going to see some big hail coming in. So the newest storm track that we have here going into Etowah at 532, Burnett 541, Macomb at 552, Romulus at 604. Big hail. We're going to start getting up larger than golf balls. We're now going into that sporting ball variety size or fruit size, no longer talking about coin size hail threats out of here. That's how you know that the hail's getting pretty large. Once you start getting out of the coin size variety, dimes, nickels, pennies, quarters, half dollars, now you're getting into the type of hail that can do some serious damage as it comes in. So that's what we're watching closely here from Shawnee down to Tecumseh, Brooksville. If you're in Norman, the hail core is now east of you. It's right over Thunderbird as we speak. We can actually see this whole area is going to have just one big hail core in it. There's some rain obviously mixed in with it, but there's going to be some large hail. The black that you see right here, that's lime size. That's 2-inch size hail. That's larger than golf balls moving down to the southeast. So big hail core now moving into eastern Cleveland County and about to cross the county line here and head into Pottawatomie County here. So certainly going to be a pretty big threat. Let's go out to Storm Command. I want to talk to Michael. Michael, big time hail threat with these cells moving down to the southeast. Give us an update with what you're seeing.
Yeah, look at that shot, Damon. Wow, it is just a massive storm that's down here northeast of Noble and north of Etowah, like you're talking about. So it's right over Highway 9. Not a great time to drive between Pink and Norman right now on Highway 9 near Lake Thunderbird at all. As you're saying, you could drive right into golf ball size hail and do some serious damage to your vehicle. So I would highly avoid that. Highly recommend not doing that. I should say this thing is moving down toward Etowah and Tribby on an southeastward movement, which we did expect. That's pretty normal for a day with this much instability. When the storms can get so strong so fast, they tend to turn right and they tend to move more to the southeast than maybe northeast or east, and that's exactly what we're seeing. As these storms have intensified, they are turning to the right. So what I'm doing is I'm continuing to watch the area that's going to be moving down towards Slaughterville and back just to the west of Etowah for any rotation that develops down the low levels. Right now it is fairly linear, Damon. I don't see any significant rotation or wall clouds. You can see there as I bring my shot around, just a massive hailstorm there going on just to my north and west. That's the hail shaft right there. That is falling right on top of Lake Thunderbird right now, Damon.
Yeah, and what's inside of that storm right there is now going to be tennis ball size hail. We told you earlier that this storm was going to ramp up quickly, and so that's now going to be tennis ball size hail right over Thunderbird. You want to talk about just a significant storm. Look, if you saw Jonathan, Eric, myself, Michael's social media posts over the last couple of days, we referenced and said, look, this is going to be a big hail day. And that is now tennis ball size hail right over Thunderbird, and that's headed towards the casino, by the way. So big hail core. The Bend is where you have the casino, but that's a big hail maker moving down to the southeast. If you're watching in Shawnee right now, this will likely stay just south of you, although Shawnee, you still have the chance of getting clipped with at least some smaller hailstones, more in the coin-sized variety. But where you make that bend right here, that's large hail moving down to the southeast. So Etowah at 532, Tribby, Brooks. You see this, you know that this is a bad storm. It's dropping some big hail and still dropping quite a bit of wind in it as well, about 60 miles per hour. So this is the view from the sky. Let's show you what it's doing from a radar standpoint. So Hoover down to Davis, Chigley, Sulphur. This storm is moving in your direction. It's absolutely a storm that's going to remain significant up until about 9 or 10 o'clock. As it gets south of Turner Falls, the hail may shrink a little bit in size, but not much. So Pauls Valley, 653, Wynnewood, 715, and then we go in towards Hoover at 733, Ouachita at 736 with this storm that's dropping some big-time hail. You can see that hail core, oh, man, it's coming right into Pauls Valley, and we've just seen an uptick in just the last couple scans. That's going to come on the west side of Pauls Valley. Pauls Valley's taking on some huge hail. Look, Pauls Valley, we knew that this storm was going to be a big one, and so Pauls Valley, no, you're taking on some big hail right now. Let's go to Derek Klein. Derek, give us an update on what you're seeing.
Yeah, Damon, so we're on Highway 19 dropping to the southwest right now into Pauls Valley. We're getting wind-driven golf ball size hail, so probably at northwest wind, somewhere around 50 miles an hour, and then we're getting hit with random golf ball size hailstones. So pretty big hail moving into Pauls Valley right now. We're about 5 miles out of Pauls Valley, and so we'll be in Pauls Valley any minute to sample that hail size. Back to you, David.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now that from our radar standpoint there, Derek, and we see your location. You're coming up right on what's going to be just a very large hail core out of this. So Derek, using that technology, the 360 cam, showing you what's happening behind him. And again, this is just a big time hailer. So there's Derek. There's the 3-inch size hail. That white, this is going to be a 2-inch size hail. So 2 inches, you're looking at lime size hail. 3 inches, you're getting up around large apple size hail. So there's some big hail coming in the Pauls Valley as we speak. And Derek Klein is going to be taking this storm head on, coming right into the hail core. So with his hail cage, he can do that. So he's got his vehicle there with a hail cage that goes over the windshield. So that at least helps keep it from getting too damaged there. But still, that's a big hailstorm that Derek is about to encounter. And so if you want to see some big hail, we're going to go back out to Derek in just a moment here. He already showed you baseballs falling earlier. Storm continues to move down to the south. Storm Command, Sky 5, Derek, all on the storm. And this continues to be a significant storm for Pauls Valley, headed towards Wynnewood. Antioch, big storm for you as well. Headed down towards Elmore City. You're going to take on some big hail as well any moment now. Storm Command looking right into this cell and this warning that goes until 7 o'clock, finding at least some area of rotation, putting a storm track with this cell over Antioch, goes into Katy at 7:21, Hennepin at 7:36. This warned on for golf ball size hail. Let's go back out to Michael. Michael, we see where you currently are. You're very close to Wynnewood. A lot of traffic there in I-35. Not what you want to see with a hailstorm like this moving in.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Those are all cars that are driving straight into the storm. Look at that. That's what people are looking at, and they're driving right into it. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, like that, I wouldn't do it. I'll put it that way. And there's actually quite a few cars driving straight up north up I-35. I've seen lots of vehicles. Meanwhile, if you take a look over here on the other side, there's a brush bumper that's actually watching the storm. So local firefighters will get out, and they'll actually watch the storm as well. There's the OKC. What is that? Oh, I guess that's just a fuel truck that's got OKC Thunder painted on it. I was wondering if that's some sort of OKC Thunder truck. Wow, look at that lightning. So this is what's coming in over Pauls Valley right now. You said it. Pauls Valley getting hammered there with wind-driven golf ball size hail. Derek Klein in the perfect position there watching that. Wynnewood, you're next. And like I said earlier, there's just nothing to stop these storms. They're just pile driving their way southward right down I-35 down toward Ardmore. And look at the dust. Look at that dust being blown around by the outflow coming out from the storm. Look at that. So that's what's coming in. That's coming right down I-35. If somebody doesn't hit their brakes and think, what am I doing driving into this? I don't know. I mean, like, there goes a FedEx truck. There's lots of vehicles driving north up I-35 right into the teeth of this storm.
That right there is just an incredible picture. They're coming in from Michael Armstrong and that technology. Just look at that dust and that wind that is blowing out of the storm. And then that right there is golf ball size hail. Look, Pauls Valley, we're getting your reports, seeing your pictures now with that golf ball size hail already coming in. Certainly quite a hailstorm. Absolutely, Pauls Valley. We're watching this one closely. I want to check in with Derek Klein because looking at his position and looking at our radar, he's definitely coming up on some of the larger hailstones. Derek, how big is the hail where you are now?
Right now, Damon, we're looking at probably nickel-sized hail, but we're just on the back side of the biggest hail now. Just got a little bit bigger as we're actually pulling into Pauls Valley. I've got my camera looking backwards, so you can actually see the hail hit the roof of our hail deck, and it shows up really nicely on the black. And so when it gets really big, you'll be able to see it really, really good on that. But you can see the smaller hailstones falling. We're about to turn south on 77 here in Pauls Valley, and that should take us right back into the hailstorm. But right now, probably max hail size around quarters here on the east side of Pauls Valley, Damon. Back to you.
Okay, looks like the worst of the storm might just now be moving out of Pauls Valley. But, Derek, we're going to keep in close contact with you. We can see that hail, and it's picked up perfectly, this hail deck that Derek has. And so when the hail falls, you can see it clearly with that white contrast up against that black. But you can see the hailstones falling from Derek from this storm. And Derek, we see a few slightly larger hailstones. Is it still quarters or is it getting bigger?
Yeah, it's definitely starting to get a little bit bigger here. So, again, there's some ping pong balls laying on the ground. So I can't tell if those are falling right now or if those are from just a minute ago. There's a bunch of them. You can see them laying in the grass there. You can see them in the grass behind me. Yes, so you can see them laying in the grass there behind me. Yeah, there's definitely a couple of ping pong balls still falling right now.
Yeah, we just saw a bigger one just bounce right in front of us. So looking at this, this is really cool to see, in that you can see the hail bouncing off of this deck that he has, this cage.